Hello and welcome back to this tutorial. We'll be talking about tuple. Tuple is an iterable, a sequence of values separated by comma inside a bracket. As you can see in this example, we have a tuple of numbers 1, 2, 3, 9, 4, and 50. This is a tuple. The values inside a tuple are unchangeable, immutable. Once a tuple is created, the values inside it cannot be changed. Tuple manipulation and working is similar to a list. The main difference is that while the items in a list can be changed, tuple does not allow you to change its item after it has been created. Tuple is used when you don't want the content of the variable to be changed or for creating sequence of constants. Look at these examples of tuple. The first item T0 is instantiating or creating a new tuple. You can also create a new tuple by just typing this bracket, and I'm assigning it all to a variable, and you can create a tuple by putting a number inside it. If you have a tuple of just one number, you can just put the number and just leave it that way. You have to put a comma by the side. These you can create tuple of numbers, tuple of integers, tuple of strings, tuple of mix of string and numbers, and whatever data type you want. The first two items created here are the same. Let me print them out so you see. So I'm going to print out T0 equals T0, and I'm going to do the same for T1. So if you see what comes out here is it creates an empty tuple. And of course, you can also print out the tuple that has content in it. Let me print out T3. It's going to list out the tuple as shown right here. Let's talk about accessing items in a tuple using the tuple indexing and slicing. I just printed out a tuple T3 now, and what I did with T3, this is T3, and it showed all the content in T3. But if I want to, let me comment out this. If I want to print out only an item in the tuple, say I want to print out the first item, I'm going to do square bracket 0. The index number of 34 in T3 is 0. Every item in your tuple has an index number. The first is 0, second is 1 till the end. So the first item is 0. So I'm printing out 0. I'm printing out T3 with index number 0 is going to print out 34. If I want to print 2, that will be index number 0, 1, 2. So that will be 2, and it's going to print out 2. I can also do reverse index printing. If you print index starting from 0, it's going to start from the front and it's going to go all the way to the back. But reverse index is starting your printing from the back, and reverse index uses a negative number. While the forward index starts from 0, the reverse index starts from -1. So the first item from the back is -1. If I want to print that 4, I'm going to say T3 -1. Let me put an equals to here so you can see it's T3 -1 is 4. If I want to print this is 1, 2, 3, so it's going to be -3. T3 -3 is going to give me 7. Slicing is used to print out or get the subset of a tuple. In a tuple, you have indexes that signifies where the items are. So index 0 signifies where item 1 is. Index 2 signifies where item 3 is. Index 1 signifies where item 2 is. So if I want to reference this number 2, I'm going to say it is on index 0, 1, 2, but it is on item 1, 2, 3. It's the third item, but it's on index 2. So if you want to take out a subset, you use the formula start index and then the last item that you want to take the subset of. So for instance, if I want to get the subset of 65 and 2, the start index is 1 and then the last item is 3. So let me print it out. Let me give you the printout here. I'll say this T3 in a square bracket, the start index is 1, and then the last item I want to get is 3, the third item. So it's going to take 2 and 3. Okay, let me give another example. Let's do for the number 7 and 0. If you see the number 7 and 0, the start index is 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. And then the last item is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So that means it's going to be start index of 4, column, last item is 6. If you take out the last item parameter, it's going to start printing the value from index 4 to the last value. It's going to start from 7 to the end. If I say start printing from index 2, it's going to say this is 0, 1, 2. So it's going to start printing from 2 to the end, as you can see here. Let me comment this out. If I take out both and just put a column, it's going to print out everything. And I can also start printing from the last item. I can say print from the last item. This is the last item, and that is item 3. So if I put 3 here, it's going to print 3 to the beginning item. So if I say 3, it's going to print 2, 65, and 34. You can also do reverse slicing. However, reverse slicing works a bit different, more like the opposite of the forward slicing. In reverse slicing, you have the item as the first variable and then the index as the second variable. Let's give an example. So I want to print out the first item. You're going to say T3 and I'll have -1. -1 is the first item. So what it does is that it makes this the first item and then it prints out every other one after it. So if I say -3 right now, it's going to start from this item and then it's going to print out every other item after it. If I want to print on the last parameter, the index, I want to print using the reverse index, I can say start from -2. So it's going to start from 0, 1, 2. It's going to start from 7 and then print out all the items in front of it. The reverse index is more like the opposite. While in the forward index it is index and item, in the reverse index it is item and index. So let's take another example. Let's say I want to print from item 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, item 5. So that will be -5. And then I want it to print to index 2. Index 2 is 0, 1, 2. So it's going to print from item 5, which is 2, and it's going to stop at 7. I'm saying item 5 and minus 2. So you can see here it started at as in doing it the reverse way now, is going to be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It start at this point, and then it goes index 0, 1, 2. So it prints this number, as you can see. Deleting an item from a tuple. Because tuple is immutable, that is unchangeable, you cannot delete a specific item from the tuple. Let's look at tuple T4. Let me print out tuple T4. I want to delete something from T4. What I'll do is to use the del function. This deletes T4 entirely from the computer. In fact, after doing this, you cannot print T4 anymore because T4 doesn't exist. So delete T4 takes it out. This is the only way you can delete a tuple. Well, there are some other ways that are not actually deletion, but if you want to delete directly, you can only delete the whole tuple at once. Or maybe if you want to empty the tuple, what you can do is say T4, assign an empty tuple to it. When you assign an empty tuple to it, that is when the tuple can become empty. Now we have a tuple. T4 is having banana, mango, and orange, but when I assign an empty tuple to it and I print it out, you can see it's empty. So basically I'm replacing it with another tuple. If you want to delete a specific item in a list, you can pop an item, but in tuple you don't have that ability to pop an item because it's immutable. In list you can say delete T4 and put an index number to take out just an item from T4, but in tuple you can't do that. The only thing you can do is to delete the whole T4. So the T4 wouldn't exist. It will not exist in the memory. As you can see, when I print T4 now, I said name T4 is not defined. You can implement a concatenation, a repetition, and a membership operation on a tuple. A concatenation operation uses a plus sign, repetition uses an asterisk sign, and membership uses the in keyword. I can concatenate the value of T5 and T6 by let me print it out just directly. T5 and T6, I can do print T5 plus T6. So you can see this adds the two into a tuple. If I want to put T6 into T5, I'm going to say T5 plus equals to T6. That is, take the content of T6 and put it into T5. So when I print T5 right now, T5 will contain T5 and T6. Let me comment this out. You'll see T5 is now containing T5 and T6 together. That is how you concatenate. The repetition value of a tuple can be done using the asterisk sign. The asterisk sign just multiplies whatever content that is in the tuple. So if I say print T5 asterisk 3, it's going to do T5 and it's going to do it 3 times. That is 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. So it repeats the value of the tuple T5 3 times. Membership uses the in keyword to check if an item exists in a tuple, and the value returns a boolean, a true or false. So I can say print 10 in T6. Is there 10 in T6? Is it in T6? Yes, that's true. That's why it's giving you the value true. Let me comment out these ones. So you see it's true. Is there 11 in T6? Is giving false. So the in keyword helps to identify if something exists. You can also use not in. If I say not in, 11 is 11 not in T6. That's true. Yeah, 11 doesn't exist in T6. T6 only has 10, 20, and 30. And I can, if I say is 10 not in T6, it's going to be false because 10 is in T6. So you can use the in keyword to search the content that is in your tuple. We can also loop through a tuple. Loop is used to repeatedly access each item in a tuple. So I can do a for loop for item in T6, and I will print out each item. Let me comment this out. It's going to print out each item in the tuple. Let me use this. Oh, okay, I can see I have this. Let me make this C5 and this, no, C6 and C7. So I just did C7 right now. So it has 10, 20, and 30. So let's do it for C5. For T5, sorry. So if I do T5, it's going to loop through all the items. It's going to print Emmanuel, 45, mil, and 57.5 all differently. Tuple functions. We're going to talk about some functions in tuple. We have the len, the min, the max, and then of course the tuple. You can find the length, the number of items in a tuple by using the len function. So I can say len T5 will give me the total number of items in this tuple. Let me put the results in a variable and then print out the variable. Print result. So this is going to give me 4. There are 4 items in T5. Let's look at how many items we have in T3. If I say 3, it's going to show me there are 7 items in T3. The min functions in tuple is used to get the minimum value of integer values in the tuple. You can use it. You can use min functions and you can use max functions, which gives you the maximum value of items in the tuple. So for instance, in this tuple T3, I can say min T3. It's going to give me the minimum number that is in T3. The minimum number here is 0. And you can also do for max to get the maximum number in T3. The maximum number in T3 is 65. Tuple function will instantiate a tuple. This is the same thing as doing just the bracket. So you can do this, use tuple. And if you want to assign some numbers in the tuple, we can use the range function to do that. So if I want to assign maybe 3 numbers to print from 0 to 3, I'll say range 3. So it's going to create a tuple that has items 0, 1, 2, 3. So you can do 30 and it's going to give you 30 numbers in there. You can put in any data type in a tuple. You can loop a list in a tuple. You can put a tuple in a list. For instance, T8 can be a list of tuples. You can see this is just a definition. I can also have a tuple that has lists in it. Let's look at an example. I have records, and in my record, I have 3 items. That is, this is a list of tuples. So I can loop through it using the for looped items in record. And I'll say print out items. So right here is going to print out each of the item as listed. Item 1 is Moses male, and item 2 Mary, item 3 Mandy. So this will enable me to, access and work on each item. And I can actually get each value from this record by stating the fields that I want to access. So items is a tuple, and it has 3 variables. So we can split the variables into its own separate variables. So I can split in items name. The second one is gender, and then the third is age. So I can say for name, age, name, gender, age in record, and then I'm just going to put all this in here. So you see it prints out each item. For you to see that they are all different, I'm going to put it in a string formatter, and I'm going to say name. My name is name. I am or gender. Let me see. My name is name. I am age years old and a gender. So I'm going to put this in a curly brace bracket. This is string formatting. If you don't know what I'm doing right now, you need to go and watch the string formatting video. Then I'll put age here, and then I'll put gender here. So you see, I'm able to break this code down. So I say, my name is Moses. I'm 25 years old and I'm a male. Same thing. My name is Rosemary. I'm 18 years old and I'm a female. To know how to work with string like this, check my videos on string and string manipulation, and to know generally how to work with list and tuple and dictionaries and sets, which are all iterables, check out my video on Python iterables, everything you need to know. It's going to teach you a lot about how you work with iterables.